Echo here, welcome back to my FTB Monster Beginner's Guide. Now, last time we made an infusion altar. I had it up here, it was far too cramped up here. So what I've done is I've changed around things a little bit in my tower here, and I've made it so that I've got another floor below the mage floor there. I've got it's more of a platform than a floor really. So now there's nothing holding that up apart from the ender. Ooh, spooky. Mysterious. Anyway, I've got a bit more space down here, so I've rebuilt the infusion altar around here. Now, as I mentioned last time, you need things around this to help lower your instability. So what I've got is, I believe, 12 candles. So these candles are made by Thaumium. They can be all different colours. They're good to use. Crystals are good to use. I think I've got 16 crystals around here, 16 mixed crystals, which is all I could use because I've run out of yellow crystals, I believe, air crystals. And I've got some wither skeleton skulls. So I've got the mob farm over there, get me some more skulls. And I've used 4 there. So that's going to give us 16, 28, 32. 32 things that are going to help reduce instability. Now, there is something that could increase it a little bit, which someone kindly mentioned after the last episode, is I have got crystals up here to help with my research. Because these are not symmetrical and might be in range of that, these may be affecting the altar down there by not being symmetrical. So that's something we might have to sort out later. But this should be alright. I think they maybe are in range, you know, to affect this. We'll see how much instability we get when we make a wand. Now that's what we're trying to make. We're trying to make a better wand, aren't we, if you remember? So we've got the research done. Where is it going to be? It's going to be in Thaumium. So what we want is a Silverwood wand core. So it's a Silverwood log with some shards and this stuff called Salus Mundis around it. Salus Mundis is pretty straightforward. It's just a couple of essences and any shard. Now essences we get from destroying either wisps, killing wisps, or the easier way is by destroying nodes. So if there was a node that you didn't like the look of, I don't think we've got any rounders. But if there was possibly there where that taint is, there may be some sinister nodes. Let's check out this black area. That could be just a black dye tree, but it could be dark because of the node. Anyway, I'll have to go looking. So I'll just destroy a couple of nodes. I'll get some of that Salus Mundis. What I also need to do is get some Silverwood, because we haven't got any of that. Now, Silverwood is a special tree. Oh, I've got quite a few of these essences in here, so that's alright, isn't it? So if we use, what I actually want is 2 of these. So we'll go with, don't matter what colour they are, they're all pretty much the same, these. You can use them for breaking down in there if you wanted to, but we don't have to do that. So what I shall do is I'll grab, what's my most popular shard? It is entropy. There we go. So I'll grab my entropy shards, and I'm just going to want to put there and there. Ooh. And Salus Mundis. Now what you want really whenever you're doing any kind of infusion crafting is you want to double up. So you want to make sure you've got a spare one because the things can get destroyed. So there we go. We've got our 2 Salus Mundis. I need to go find a Silverwood tree. And then I'll show you how you actually get some aspects sorted out, because we've not got any aspects that the altar can use yet. So if we look back at our recipe here, you'll see that not only does it need these things, it also needs some aspects available to it. And we get the aspects by putting the aspects into jars. We use alchemy. And we'll go into this section of the alchemy tab. What we need to do is we need to make an arcane workbench, which is a second crucible, which is just a cauldron hit by a wand, of course. Furnace and some of the arcane stone bricks we've been using. We need some of these guys, alembics, which needs more silverwood, so I need to get silverwood for that as well. And we can have up to 5 of these, and then we don't need to do this alchemical construct just yet. We'll come to that in a later episode. But what we also need is, come out of there, some of these guys, Essentia tubes. We don't. Yeah, we will. We need a couple of Essentia tubes. I'm also going to make some valves, but I'll make one of these things as well. This is just shows you what's in the tubes. So I'll get all the bits ready for that. Mainly, I'm going to have to go hunting for Silverwood because I haven't found any yet. And when I've done that, I shall come back. We'll make some jars. The jars are really straightforward. In fact, let me quickly make some jars now. Now, there is, I believe, 51 different aspects. That actually depends on what add-ons you've got, to be honest. Some add-ons actually increase the amount of aspects. Let's get a good amount of wood. I'll go with 60 jars because I can always make some into different types of jars later on. There we go. Let's put all that into there. So 60 jars, and then I'm going to need a load of glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want 6 stacks of glass panes. 1, 2, 3, 7 stacks. I mean 4, 5, 6, 7, and the rest of that glass can go back in there. There we go. Right. So if I come up here, you'll see I can't make many of these yet because. Whee. Oh shit. So yeah, I've changed the way I've actually had to make a hole in the roof there. Oh, I've updated the version. I'm on version 1.1.0, and in that you need to have clear line of sight between elevator blocks. I've noticed. So my elevator blocks have all got clear line of sight between them. I'll just keep coming up here to refresh the regen because I've got the wither farm running. So I want to make sure I'm keeping growing that node. Right, so back down here again. We put these in here. You'll see that each one of these is going to take only one, but it's still one in it. Now, of course, we can come across here. I'll remember that I've got a pressure plate there this time. And then 6.9 now. So we'll see how many. How much we've got in there. We've got 15, so we're not going to get many, but we've got some. There we go. So there's 16 jars. So I also, while I'm out and about, I need to increase my. I need to fill up my wand. I'll go killing some things. So these jars are what you put your aspects in. Very cool. You can upgrade them to another version, which stops jars overflowing. That's this void jar. What happens with these normal jars? They can have up to 64 of an aspect in it. If they get to if there's more than 64 in the pipes, then they'll get stuck with the void jars. I'll just drain them off. But I'll come to that later. I'll probably make a few void jars anyway. I like to use all void jars when I can afford it. Right, I'm gonna go get some bits. Back in a bit. Well, this took a bit of doing. I've been looking all over the place for one of these guys. I finally found one. This is the Silverwood tree I've been looking for. Now, I've come. Look at that. What's that? Interesting. Don't recognise that structure. I'm in the Twilight Forest. I managed to find a Silverwood tree there. That might be one as well. I'm in part of the Twilight Forest that's like a mystical grove kind of thing. It's got Enchanted Forest. Cool. So I found this guy. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, this guy is going to give me a sapling. If he doesn't, I'll be sad. But I've looked all over. I've been all over the overworld, and unfortunately, I don't seem to be able to find any overworld. What you should be able to find for these are little bits of magic forest biome scattered around your world. Now, I don't know if it's because of my world gen, but I certainly don't seem to have any. Please decay, leaves. Don't seem to want to decay. Looks like it's got all the stuff around them, possibly. Ideally, I'd like a couple of saplings from this so I can plant them back at my base. Should I need some more wood? I've got 29 though, which is good. Certainly enough for the alembics and enough for the Silverwood wand that we want to make. Now, depending on what mods you've got, sometimes you've got a better chance of getting leaves from things like if you've got a pack with dark crafting. There's a dark craft claw thing that gives you a better drop chance of saplings. But without that, all you can pretty much do is this. Now, that's a bit slow, isn't it? If we had our, we ain't got it. If we had our Tinkerer, not sorry. If our Tinker's Constructs hatchet, then they cut leaves down really quick. This is a bit slow. It's a bit of a shame. Anyway, I'm gonna hang around here, get all these, cut through all these leaves, try and get a sapling. I'm going to have a quick look what that is over there. There's another one over there. Look, I'll cut that down as well. That's possibly the one I thought I could see through there. Let's come back in a sec. Let's have a quick look at what this is over here. Oh, I know what this is. This is where the quest ram lives. Hello, quest ram. This is a cool little thing. It's a ram. If you feed it wool, then it grows different coloured bands of wool and it gets real long. And if you get all 16 different colours of wool, it'll give you a prize. Now what it's probably got in here, oops, we've probably got in here is some wool. Click in the dispense, there we go. So I'm going to throw some wool out. And we can feed it. How do we feed it? We click on it, click. There we go, we fed it, look, and it's got a little blue stripe now. From the bit of blue wool that was up in that dispenser. Got any more? I've got a few. Why don't I just click inside there and have a look? Right, let's feed you some more colours. Red, black. Sorry, blue, black, orange, white. See, as it gets bigger as he goes. If you get him all 16 colours, he will give you like a few blocks. I think there's a few blocks of gold, diamonds, possibly emeralds, stuff like that. Anyway, another thing that Silverwood trees have, while I'm cutting them down, let me mention that. You see there, that's got a nice node in there. We should scan that node because it'll give us some aspects for our research. There we go. And when you grow a Silverwood tree back at your base, there is a chance of it having a node inside it. And if it does have a node inside it, then it will turn the area around it into a magic biome. Now it'll only turn maybe like one little chunk, but it's pretty good because it helps fight against taint and get rid of the taint that we make from doing our spells and stuff. Right, I've got some Silverwood, that's the main thing. Hopefully I'll get a sapling, but it's not guaranteed. I shall meet you back at the base and we'll start putting together the Essentia distillation stuff back in a bit. Okay, I actually did quite well out of that. I got 3 saplings in the end. I planted one in the air. I don't think there's enough room for it to grow. I'm going to leave it for a day or so, see if it grows. I'm not that confident it's actually going to grow in here, but I'll leave it there, see if it does. If it doesn't, I can always knock this down and then rebuild it afterwards. I thought I'd have a nice tree in there underneath, right underneath the tower. And hopefully, if it gets a pure node in it, will help with the taint reduction as well. So if I come back up here, say I've got 2 more spare saplings which can go into the chest there for now, out of the way. Now what I want to do is I want to start making these bits then. So while I was out, another thing I did, in fact we probably only need 16 for now, that's fine, the number of jars we've got just to get this done. We can always make more later. So the first thing we're going to want is some of these alembics, and I'm going to go with 4. You can have up to 5 on top of here, but I think 4 is reasonable. So for that we need this. No, I should put my reduction suit on. Let's do that. So there we go, there's 4 of these V filters. That's the first thing we need. Now we combine them with these need buckets, I believe. Is that right? Let me just double check. Yeah, they do need buckets. I thought they did. You can use this as a normal crafting bench as well, as you can no doubt see there. So 4 buckets, 4 of them guys, 4 more gold, and rest iron is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4 alembics. Cool. And now we want a cauldron, and we need to give the cauldron a tickle with our wand. Boop. Make it into a crucible. And we also need a furnace. The furnace goes there, cauldron on top, fill the rest with arcane stone blocks, put our one back in, and we get a alchemical furnace. Wonderful. Now this thing is very cool, I like it a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it there, and what you do with this is you put your arcane alembics on top of it, like so. 1, 2. Oh, I'm going to get up there. Oops. I should have maybe made 5 after all. So they're drying up. I'll break that top one. Oh, come on. Making these people think you're an idiot. I think that ship sailed a long time ago, on it. Oh, god damn it. You there. And you underneath that. Thank you. Making things hard work since whenever I started making videos. 2013. Right. Just sleep so it's late time. Get rid of the rain. Thank you very much. So this is our most basic setup. What we can do is you put a fuel source in here. You can use coal, charcoal. You can use elementum, which you're actually making Thaumcraft. Because we've got blood magic in the pack, the best thing I found to use is a lava crystal. So we can use our LP network to power this. So lava crystal goes in there. Now what we want to do is we put things in there to turn them into aspects. So I'm going to put something in there just to get something cooking. Now what I'm going to use is, where will our reeds be? So I'll just grab some fresh ones. Let's just grab some fresh ones. Reeds are a good one. In fact, so is netherwort, so I'll grab some netherwort while I'm here. Netherwort is what I generally use for precantatio, the magic. The magic aspects. Looks like a little purple wand. So I'll grab all these while I'm here as well. Now, for our Silverwood one, we need all the primal aspects. So, for the primal aspects... Oh look, trees growing. Awesome. Oh, that's turned out nice. So let's see how it looks. Sweet. And it looks like we have not got a node inside this. I'll be able to see it because I've got the goggles revealing on. So I probably will cut that down at some point and try and do that again and get a node inside it. But if you keep growing trees, eventually you'll get a node, a pure node inside, which helps. But there we go, little oh, well, I fell over. I'll be back in a sec. Well, I picked up my stuff, got my stuff back, and I just noticed that's growing there, a little shimmer leaf. And if you check on the F3, this is now actually a magical forest, which would suggest there is a node in there. I just can't see it, which is weird because I've got glasses on, unless it's really small and right up there. So anyway, I'll try not to fall off there again. That's one of the dangers of having a ritual of the feathered knife. You're always running around your base with 3 health. Let's get regen on there to remedy that. So right, I need to break these leaves so we can. Oh, I'm still touching them. Don't want to do that. Don't want to silt touch. I want to break them and try and get a little sapling if I can. Anyway, I should have done this off camera. I'm just wasting your time now. But let's quickly finish it off. I was actually curious if I could see the node from here, but I can't. Okay, never mind. Well, let's go back up then. So what we can do now is, if you look, netherwort has got 1 precantatio and 1 herba. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bang in a full stack of netherwort into there, and it's going to start cooking it up, and it's going to start transferring it out of there into these. Now, because I've got goggles on, I can see where it's going. So we've only got 2 aspects in this, so the aspects are going to go into there and into there. So that's going to fill it with 64 precantatio. That's going to have 64 herba in it. Now what we need to do, let me put them in there and deal with them later. Now the next bit we need to do is we need to get some tubes to get things out of there. So for that we need some quicksilver and some glass. So let's grab some quicksilver and some glass. Quicksilver, I generally save most of it these days because you can use it to make cinnabar, but it's actually from cinnabar ore, which I ain't got any of. You kidding me? Well, that could be an issue. I may have to go mine some cinnabar. Tell you what I can do, just to get us started. I can break this, because this will give us one as well. Boop. That'll give you one quicksilver. Cinnabar ore is where you really want to be getting it from, though. Hopefully that'll grow back. We'll see. I may have to go silt touch some of them from the from where I got the trees from. Oops, off again. So, I didn't get glass. Any glass? Loads of the wrong type. So, one piece of glass. I'm going to want a couple of levers. I might not have enough pipes for this. I may have to actually go. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Sorry for cutting again. I'm going to have to go find some cinnabar. Oh, silly me. Actually, my cinnabar was in this chest. I had 9. I just took 3 of them and put them in the furnace and smelted them into quicksilver. So I've actually got 4 quicksilver now. So let me head back up there. Can I hit that from here? Yep, sweet. Get my regen back on. Now, I have filmed this bit once. I did film the cooking of the quicksilver, but my wand ran out, so I just cut again to go and refill my wand a bit. So I decided to do this bit again. So I've made 6 tubes. I've got another for 3 lots more. So I'm actually making 24. I don't actually need 24 yet. I didn't really need to do that, but I've got 24. What I've also made is some levers, and I'm going to make 4 of these into Essentia valves. So we've got 20 tubes, 4 valves. I'll take that with me. And what we can do now is we can create a little system of pipes coming off here. Oh, they're only all 32 now, do they? Interesting. Series of pipes coming off here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go. Just going to get. I might have to move this around. I've left this one block out, by the way, because you can put arcane bellows on this. Just let me quickly show you. Arcane bellows, wood, leather, an air shard, iron, some aspects. You can put arcane bellows on. They look really cool, so that's one thing. And they speed up the transference of this into these. So what I can do now actually is I'll chuck that sugar cane in there. That's going to start cooking up. It's got nowhere to go yet, so it's just going to stay in here. But yeah, if you put the arcane Olympics on, it works faster, which is nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some tubes across to here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 2 of the valves. I've made a bit more than I needed to, really, but it doesn't matter. I'll put 2 of the valves down here. And what I can do with my wand is if I right click there, that'll disconnect them 2. So these 2 are 2 separate valves. You right click them to shut them or open them. What we can do now is we can grab our jars, put them under there, put them under there, and if we open one of the valves, we should start getting one of the aspects into there. Now, as you can see, it's the precantation. These make really cool noises as well. So precantation starts to drain out of that one. Now, will it come out of that one next? It has yet. So that's all drained. So because we've only got one way for the thing to go, the first thing that came out went into it. You see that's starting to fill up with the other 2 now. You see this little purple graphic? Now, if we had both valves open, that wouldn't have happened because it would have got stuck. If we open a second valve, I didn't really want the air in. To wait for the air to process now. Things can get backed up. Now, if I shut that, put a fresh one down, what's going to happen? As I suspected. There we go, that's what I was after. See there, we've got a pressure build up. So that's showing us that there's a yellow aspect in there, which it is, it's air. And this is showing us a green aspect in there, which it is, it's air. But what I need to do now is I need to release the pressure by shutting one of these valves. So if I was to shut that, what we should see is the herb start coming in. Now I'm going to make some things called labels. These guys, they take ink, slime balls and paper. I'm going to make a stack of them, 64. I'll be back when I've made them. What I need to do is get all the aspects in for the Silverwood wand. So if we quickly look, we need all the primal aspects: air, aqua, ignis, ordo, pedito, precantatio and terra. Precantatio we've got from the netherwort. Air we've got air and aqua we've got from the reeds, which I like to use them for. Ignis we're going to get from coal. Ordo can get from chiseled stone block. So stone into bricks, put them in again to become chiseled bricks, so you get ordo. Pedito from cobblestone. And finally terra I'm going to get from dirt. So I'm going to get a jar of each of them mid. I will be back when that's done, and then we'll be ready to actually do some infusion. Well, I've kind of shown you what not to do by putting in them reeds while I start stuff in there. I've complicated matters a bit, things are getting all mixed up. I've put another couple of jars down. You see we've got air in there, we've also got air in there now, so I need to try and get the air out of there and into that one. What I'm going to do for this is, say I've made some labels, I'll put one on there. What happens is, when you put labels on a jar, that jar becomes linked to that aspect, so only that can go in, and it'll actually pull with more suction. These can also have labels on. If you look, put that on there. Now only air can go in that alembic. Nothing else can go in there apart from air. If I shift right click, I can take that off. Or I can dump the air. I can't remember which one it is. Cool, it takes it off. You can shift right click to dump stuff. Now we don't need all that hairbe. We've already got a full thing of hairbe, so I could, like, if I shift right click the jar, see it gets rid of it. But if you look on the top of the screen at the Wallier, it still thinks it's a hairbe jar, so nothing else will go in it. You do actually have to break it and replace it before anything else will go in. Just so you know. Now that, if you look at it now, is an empty jar again. What I need to do to help me out here is I need to make another item. So I'm going to put that on there. I feel like my mic's touching my hood on my hoodie, but I apologise if it is. That should be better. Now, I believe this is what we need for this. And it is. Cool. Okay, so this thing, Essentia Resonator. Now, what we can do with this is we can click on the pipe and I'll show you what's in it. You see there, suction 0 untyped. There's one air Essentia in there. So you can see what's blocking the system up at the minute is air. So we've got air in the system, as in AER, not AIR. So if I open that, there we go, that shows you which valve you need to open to get things in there. So it was there, that was in the pipes. And you can see now, look, the suction, because we've got that open, the suction on the pipe is 60, well, the pressure, should I say, is air. So that's saying to these guys here that if you've got air, let me have it. Now what you'll see is we've got a blue thing here. Look, see, we've got a blue gas coming out here. So if we click on there, it's probably going to tell us that we've got aqua in there. Look, that's got air. That's sucking aqua. So if we turn on the aqua, we should see some aqua go in. We have to turn off the air first. It's all very complicated. Yeah, I've kind of. This would have been a lot simpler if I'd have just done the netherwort first and then done the air separate. So we're not seeing any gas floating about. We've got air in there again. Okay. These guys fighting against each other. Looks like I keep having to. Well, that was going in just very slowly. Once we've got the 64 of that in, it should be fine. You are very slow. There we go. So now, because we've shut the air, we have increased the pressure, which is now letting us put all the aqua in. And now are we stuck again? Let's try getting air in again. Okay, what have we got in there now? Everything says it's pulling aqua. That's pulling air on that line. That's pulling aqua. That aqua should be going in, but it isn't. Because we ain't got any left. Okay, so aqua's gone. Oh right, yeah, I didn't have a full stack, did I? I thought I'd put a full stack of that in. So that's gone. Air is also gone. All we've got left is herb. Yep, all we've got left is herb. Sweet. Now, I'm going to put the herb into this one. So shut that. If we open that, because that's empty, then it should let the herb run through, which it is. Wonderful. So that's going to drain all the herb out. The one thing I want to check now, once we've got all this empty, so we'll clear this out. So they're all empty. That's good. So we're all done. Right, so like I said, I want to get rid of that herb because we've already got a jar of that. I don't need more than a jar of herb. You can use herb for growing stuff, which is useful, so you might want to save that yourself, but I actually get rid of it. What I'm going to do is, the ones I've already made, let's just put them down here. So we've got Precantatio. Let's label these up. So in the future, when we want, if this is drained down, if we're doing this manually like this, if this is drained down, we put that jar back there. Anything that's Precantatio will know to go into that jar because it's got a label on it. Right, what I want to check now is if I shut that, open that, if I open this, yes. See what happened there was because where's it gone? Because that's got a label on, that's got a higher pressure. Yeah, that had 57 in, didn't it? Because that's got a label on, that's got a higher pull than that. So when I opened that valve and that valve, it pulled the one air that was in that I accidentally put in there. It pulled it out, it pulled it through, it put it into there for me. So now the air's in there. Very cool. So right, we're all good. We're all good. Let's shut these up. Take that out of the way. Put some fresh jars down. Now, I'd normally use dirt for my Terra, but unfortunately I ain't got any dirt. If you look at Netherrack, it's actually got Terra and Ignis, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to use Netherrack. So this is going to give us Terra, Ignis and Saxum. So we're going to get 3 things from this. So I'll show you the start of it, then I'll get the rest. The Ordo that I mentioned, if we turn all that into stone bricks, and then turn the stone bricks. So stone bricks is just Saxum. What? Stone bricks come chisel bricks, don't they? How the hell do I get chisel bricks then? Do I have to actually chisel them? Weird. I'm sure you make chiseled bricks like that. There's something's changed the recipe of them. Chisel stone bricks. Seems I have to use. There's only one recipe. It's Tinker's Construct. Weird. Let me try with my chisel. Kind of makes sense in my head. Let's have a look. Chisel stone bricks. Okay. So it's actually cheaper. I get 64 doing like that, whereas I would have only ended up with 64 from all of these. So if I throw that on the floor, turn off my signal of magnetism, throw that on the floor and scan it with the thermometer, you should see that that has got Ordo in it. So that's a really good source of Ordo. Good to know. I'll get the first one of these into here, then I'll cut the camera out, I'll get all the rest done. So what we've got in there, looks like we've got nothing actually in the pipes because nothing's pulling because the pressure's all 0. Okay, that's good. So if we open one, then we should start getting a flow of something. And now if I put a label on there. So there comes our Terra. I'll get the rest done. I'll be back when I've got all the aspects in jars. So eventually we come to the point where we are ready to actually rock and roll. So what I've got is, I've got my final aspect jar that I need, which is the Perditio from the cobblestone. So I've got all my jars just along the back of the here for now. So I've got 64 in each of these, apart from 58 in them two. Fine. Look in the book, we don't need that much. I should show you them the book. Episode is getting long again, but I don't want to skip anything, you know what I mean? 9 of each is what we need. So what we need for this is we need the aspects, the shards and the Salis Mundis. So as you can see there, the shards, the Salis Mundis, doesn't matter what order these are in. But what I've done is, as you can see, I've put them around. Now this isn't going to be symmetrical because there's 7 things, 2, 4, 6, and then the Salis Mundus makes 7. I could make some elaborate thing that kind of evens it out a bit, but I'm just going to do it like this. Excuse me. What I've done is, starting here, I've got yellow, red, white, black, green, blue. And you see, I've put a spare one of each in my bar. So if these do get destroyed, I should know which one it's come from. That's why I do that. I'm actually going to turn that on. So if any do get destroyed, they'll get sucked back to me. So it's actually quite useful to have some kind of coin of fortune or magnetism sigil or mysterious magnet or something. So all we need to do now is we need to actually put our log on there. Now the log won't get destroyed, so I don't know, I've got 2 of them. The log's fine. I think we're good to go. So all we need to do now is we've got our aspects, we've got our items on our pedestals. All we need to do is grab our wand, right click on there, boosh. Now what's going to happen is you see the runic matrix. You see what it's asking for? It's asking for 9 of each. You see it's sucking the 9 of each from the jars. Looks very cool. It's taking them as it's asking for them. You see there it's going down. When they get to 0, then it'll start taking the items instead. Now if any item gets destroyed, some aspects gets lost and it'll start trying to suck again. So if you have only, there goes the Salis Mundus. If you have only the required aspects in there, there is a chance that it could get destroyed. It could go all wrong. If one gets destroyed and there's no more terror than just 9, then it'll keep trying to pull terror, but it won't be able to. So there you go. Once it's pulled all the items, boop, there we go. We've done our first thing, and everything went nice. So we can chuck all them out of the way. We can get that back, and we've got our Silverwood wand rod. Sweet. The next bit, I'm going to kind of rush this a little bit. I just should have gone up, not down. The next bit is made a bit more Thaumium. Now we know all about Thaumium because that's what our armor's made out of. And I broke it down into nuggets, Thaumium nuggets, just like you would an iron ingot into iron nuggets. And I've got that in here. So now if we put a wand into there, you will see that that makes us inert Thaumium caps. Now the inert's important here. Now we used to be able to, I've got 2 of them. I've actually got a load spare there. Of course I have. Because 2 ingots gives you 18 and you only need 10. But 1 ingot only gives you 9, so you actually need 2 ingots worth. It used to be that you could just put them together. Now these need to be activated. And we activated them by infusion as well. So if we're looking over here now, we've got our Thaumium nuggets and a small amount of those aspects. And then what we need is some more Salis Mundis, and the inerted Thaumium cap goes in the middle. And for this we need some Potentia, we need some Aurum. So Salis Mundis, I went off camera, I've been and killed a couple more nodes. Now what I've got in here is, I've put 32 coal in here, which is going to get us another 64 Ignis. Let's just put all these back in here. These Jabba barrels, by the way, if you've got something in your inventory that can go in them, you don't actually have to have that thing on your bar. You can just click it, and if it's anywhere in your inventory, say, look, if I've got 19 of them, and they're up there, if I click on a barrel that can accept them, it knows that I've got some in my inventory and I'll take them. Very good. Right, so I need 3. I've got 1 spare Salis Mundis. I'm going to want to keep 1 spare, so I need 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. I'm hoping I've got enough aspects in my wand. And 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 is what I'm going to need for them. That's quite a lot, isn't it? So let's get these made up if we can. Where have the shards gone? There they are. 6 shards. Yeah, I might have to get some. Yeah, I am. Gonna have to go get some more wand stuff. So I'll go fill my wand up with some aqua and stuff. And the other bit we need to do is, right, that's done. Shut that one. This will give us Potentia. I'll see that jar's had Saxum in it, so I need to replace it. There we go. Now this should put Potentia in there. Cool. And the other thing we need for this is, if you look in there, this needs Aurum. And this is the Aurum that you can only get from the shards, from the Ethereal Essence. So I killed a couple of aqua nodes. You get loads of aqua nodes out in the sea. So I went for a little ride across there, killed one round here somewhere, one round here somewhere. So I've got 17 of them, which is going to get me 34 Aurum, 34 aqua. And as you can see from there, we only need 6, so 34 should be well above. So I'll get them put in jars as well, so I'll come back and we'll be able to quickly make them to put our one together, and then we'll be able to wrap up. Okay, all my bits are sorted. This, of course, this pattern is like so. So I've got some spare Salis Mondays. I want to try and make this as symmetrical as I can. I think classes symmetry is like that. I'm not 100% sure. I should have possibly moved these into the middle, but well, we should be alright. So there we go, there's 3, and I've got a spare Salis Mundis on my bar there, ready. And like I said, I don't think you ever lose the middle bit, so that should be fine where it is. Let's quickly go boop. And you see it's going to be pulling Potentia and Aurum. There it goes. Let's keep an eye on these 3 items. Make sure nothing goes boom. So there was a boom, but we don't seem to have lost anything. So that was good. So that bang was related to this. We seem to be fine. Cool. So there's our first one. And now you'll see, instead of being in air, it's now a charged. So let's get our second one sorted. And that seemed to work for me, so let's do exactly the same. 1, 2, 3. So I can see them all from here. Wonderful. And double check we've got enough in there. So 28 and 52, that's easy enough. And away we go. And of course I've got my spare Aurum on my bar in case we lose one. Now if we lose 2, I'm in trouble. I believe if you shift right click on the thing up there, it will cancel the infusion. I think it's shift right click. I don't really want to cancel it for the sake of it. But you can be where you can actually cancel. There we go, and then we've got 2 of them charged Thaumium caps. Back up, should I say, to our crafting bench. Do we need a crafting bench for this? Can it be crafted anywhere? It can't be done in my inventory, so it maybe does need this. I don't think it costs any aspects to put it together. Oh, it does cost aspects. It costs 54. That's changed. Well, interesting. I'm going to have to go fully fill up my wand. You see, because I've got the gear on, that 54 drops to 48.6. So that basically that was telling you, if you want to do this with a gold banded greatwood one, you also need some gear, some V reduction stuff. So I'll go around. I'll find some nodes. I'll fill that up, and we can put this together, and then we can wrap up. Here we are then. I've got a fully charged wand. I went and I did a bit of a mixture. Found some nodes, killed some mobs, killed some blazes to get the Ignis up, and we can now, with the right armor on, come over here and grab our Thaumium embossed Silverwood wand. Hooray! Now this guy will hold 100 of each. We can do wonderful things like get nodes in jars and stuff like that. I'll run across to this node here just to get something in it, and you can see the start of it there. So there we go. We'll get some Pedito and air into it. Thank you. And you see there, this has got an 80% V cost, so that's got a 90. This is better V cost. It's got an 80% V cost, and we've got air and Pedito in there. So this will be able to let us do things like make make nodes in jars. Nodes in jars. Getting aspects from mobs is good, and depending on how you have your mob farm, it's a good way of getting it. nodes in jars I think is a little bit better. What I'll be able to do with nodes in jars is I'll be able to have several nodes around here with the right aspects in. I'll be able to put a recharge pedestal, and I'll just be able to leave my wand on the recharge pedestal when I'm not using it, and it'll keep itself fully charged, which is very nice. So there we go, a fully Thaumcraft episode. I was hoping to try and get Tesseracts done in this episode as well, but unfortunately I've run out of time. So I'm going to leave it there. Next episode we will probably do a node in a jar. We might make a recharge pedestal. We'll certainly do Tesseracts because I want to get Tesseracts on the go, and we might make a start on some mass resource gathering. So basically the things I still want to do in this series before we wrap up is I want to do that little bit of Thaumcraft I just mentioned, node in jar and recharge pedestal. I want to do Tesseracts for remote energy for the mob farm. I want to do mass resource gathering. I'm going to do a bone pickaxe. I'm going to show you a quarry and various other ways of doing it. There's extra utilities quarry, there's quarry plus, there's turtles I'm going to mention, I'm not going to make though, and there's rotary craft, and I want to do a rotary craft 5 times or using a magnetostatic engine and CVT. So them's the things we'll be doing before we wrap up. I want to wrap up episode 20 for this series. Right, so hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and hopefully you now understand how to do it with fusion crafting and Essentia distillation, and I hope I see you next time. Cheers, bye.